Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is a personal reading for someone who said that I could actually put this public on my channel for anyone else who needs to hear this message. So if you stumbled across this video, chances are there might be some messages in here for you, but keep in mind this is a personal reading for a specific person who did purchase on my website. So to the person who purchased this, I want to say thank you so much for supporting me. All the money that is coming in through this channel is actually helping provide for me and my husband so that we can continue to put free content up onto our YouTubes and for you guys to help you guys out. So thank you so much. And if you are ever interested in a free reading, here's what you have to do. Just comment below and let me know what you want to know about, and I can make a pick a card reading and put it on my channel so everyone can see it. I have a huge list of all the suggestions. I constantly read through my comments, and I do pick a card readings all the time, and that is how you can, get questions answered for free. If you would like your own personal reading like this, head over to my website, promiseharmony.com/services. The fastest way to get a reading from me is to purchase an emergency reading. You receive it within 3 days. The next fastest way is to order a Skype. If you order a video reading, it can take time. For instance, this person has been waiting a month, and she asked some questions, but then she emailed again to say, hey, wait a minute, the questions I had aren't even valid anymore, and now I have new questions. And so that happens, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's waiting for a personal reading. When you order, you are waiting in line, and I do these readings every single day. This is my full-time job. But it does take time. Lately, I've actually limited the amount of orders I give out every week, which is helping me to get everyone their readings a lot faster. I tried raising my prices for a while, but I just felt bad about it and was like, I want people to be able to receive readings, but keep in mind, if you're ordering a video reading, you are going to have to wait in line, and I appreciate those of you guys who have been waiting, and I do believe you'll receive your readings in divine timing. So let's go ahead and get started with this reading. This person is getting ready to go to college and has to pick like a career path or a college, and their family is like really pressuring them to figure it out. And this person has very psychic gifts, very clairvoyant. I've done readings for this person before. They just want clarity on like what to do, what their gifts are, and so we're just going to pull some cards for you and see what your gifts are. I'm definitely going to be channeling some messages to you through the guides and the spirits, and also I want to talk with you real quick about protection. Your original question was about feeling kind of down and feeling kind of depressed, and you said you're not feeling like that anymore, you're feeling better, but I just did get a sense that some of the energy you might be experiencing could be like psychic attack. So what psychic attack is there's many ways it can happen. It could be spirits around you that are trying to drain your energy. People who are very clairvoyant, light workers, artists, healers can tend to attract, just like in real life, how you can attract kind of toxic people or people that want to kind of drain your energy or be codependent with you or whatever. There are spirits like that too. And so I always tell people, don't get scared. It's not always like demonic stuff or whatever. It's not that big of a deal, but it is important to remember to protect your energy spiritually. Just like how you have to draw boundaries with people in real life sometimes and tell them, no, I don't want to go to that party, or maybe you don't want to answer those people's text messages, or you decide maybe I'm not going to be that close of friends with that person because I just don't feel right around them. You kind of have to do the same thing with the energies around you. And so one of my favorite ways, and it's so interesting because I was actually watching a video from the Psychic Twins today. I don't know if you guys have watched their channel, but I absolutely love them. I really relate to them. And they were talking about actually imagining yourself in a shield of like purple bluish light, and how that indigo light is one of the strongest protective vibrations. And I do that all the time. Like I pray actually to Archangel Michael that he'll protect me and surround me in his violet light. And, before I did this reading, I just took a minute and took some deep breaths and imagined that shield around me. And I really do feel it makes a difference. Sometimes I'll be walking down the street and I'll just feel a weird vibe, and I'll just stop and pray for a second, imagine that shield, and I notice a difference. And so remember that what you see in your third eye and in your imagination, it can feel very real. That's why when you're having a dream, it feels super real. That's why sometimes you can have a daydream where you imagine something or you meditate, it can feel very real. Sometimes it is real. When you imagine that light around you and you take a second to just feel the realness of that protection, it helps. It does create like a strong force in your aura to keep that away. Crystals can also help. This is my quartz crystal. I use it for protection, also crystal gazing, and just holding a crystal can help. I have a lot of crystals in here. Anything that just feels protective to you, honestly. Some people, you know, quartz is one of the best. Just carry it in your pocket or hold it. I would highly suggest even getting a quartz necklace or quartz earrings, and wearing jewelry can help because it's super cute, but it's also protective. Amethyst, of course, is very protective. I also made a video on how to make a protective spray. Taking salt baths can help too, because if you're an empath, you're clairsentient like you definitely are, then you tend to take on the feelings and the emotions of people around you. And so taking a salt bath can be really, really clearing to you. It can help clear your aura and just help your body and your mind and your soul to relax. Just taking care that, like, if you're not feeling right, to trust that. Sometimes it is because there's feelings and emotions and stuff that wants to come up in you in order to be, you know, just seen and heard and acknowledged. Sometimes there's like something you need to do, action you need to take. But a lot of the times, if you can't put your finger on what it is, it could be psychic attack, or it could be, you know, an energy you picked up from somebody or something. And, you know, you can tell if you try protecting your energy, or you meditate, or you use some sage or some Palo Santo to clear your energy, or you try the healing spray, hold a crystal, say the prayer to, you know, about the energy shield, and then you feel better. That's how you know, wait a second, that was some psychic attack or something. So the idea here is not to make you afraid of and paranoid or anything. You don't need to be praying 1,000,000 times a day or saging yourself 50 times a day. It's just every once in a while, just do something as a, you know, kind of to set an intention that you want to keep your energy clear, and that you intend on feeling good and keeping like your energy to yourself. And so these are some things that can help, and definitely look into like clearing energy and try different techniques and see what works best for you, because everybody's different. But I do sense like that's probably what was going on a month ago. I feel like there was a lot of energy around you. I feel like there was maybe somebody who was going through a trauma or something like that in their life, and they were coming to you for help, and you were getting caught up in it. And I feel like your energy was like getting scattered, and then like you were susceptible to psychic attack because of it. And so just taking the time to protect your energy will really help you. Something else I want to say before we even draw cards, because I've gotten a lot of downloads about you and your energy. You were talking about how you can't remember your childhood, and like some of the only things you remember are like when times that you got in trouble, or like embarrassing, like weird things that you did in school, like to act out or something. And I do feel like this is a message that there was in your childhood. I do feel like you had to grow up really fast. You might have been parentified. You know, I would highly suggest at some point to talk to a therapist or talk to a professional, and that will help you to retrieve some of those memories. It might be because you stuffed a lot of those memories down in order to protect yourself or for survival. I do feel like these memories will start coming out. Probably when you move away from your family and you get on your own, there's going to be a time where some of these memories will come back to you, and you'll start realizing, oh, whoa, I totally forgot about this, this, and this. I feel like your inner child was traumatized in some ways. And, you know, I'm going to say this is important, you know, but at the same time, a lot of us have been through this. A lot of us have had experienced some type of emotional abuse or neglect, or God forbid, even physical abuse, or, you know, one or both parents was absent, or nobody's perfect, you know. So not to excuse anything that might have happened in your childhood, but at the same time, sometimes maybe your parents are loving, but they could have been unaware that they were too hard on you, or they kind of withheld from you emotionally, or maybe they caused you to push your emotions down. Maybe it wasn't like a environment where you felt like you were free to express yourself and to be honest, or Maybe you feel like bad or guilty for being sad or mad or angry sometimes. And that's like our society. I think a lot of people and a lot of families don't really raise their children to know like it's okay to have your emotions. It's healthy to process your emotions. Like you can process your emotions in healthy ways. And so I feel like for you, there was a lot that was bottled up. And so you don't remember a lot, but you will in the future. You'll start having memories. And I do feel like your parents were kind of harsh with you. I do feel like they're strict. There could have been some emotional abuse. And so just, talk to a trusted therapist at some point, write in your journal your memories, and trust yourself. If what I just said doesn't resonate, always trust yourself. But I do get a sense that something like that's going on. And so that might be why you don't understand or don't remember like your childhood. And I think it's interesting that you're starting to think about that now, and that like you asked me that because you're probably asking, is that normal? Well, depends on what you think normal is. I'm going to say for a lot of people, yeah, this is normal. A lot of us go through our childhood, and if it was less than loving than what the energy that was around us, or we had to grow up really fast, or we were parentified, or we were kept from really processing our emotions and our feelings in a healthy way for whatever reason, we are going to tend to stuff that down and to not process that till later. And so I think therapy and professional help is really important for a lot of people. I've personally been through it. And I think that it can help you to just process things, anything you might have stuffed down. And because if you continue to stuff stuff down, you will have breakdowns later in life where it can turn into other things that are stressful for you in your life. And so, yeah, I think you're really coming into your independence, and you're starting to really think about like who you are and what you want and how you want to live your life. And I think this is a really exciting time in your life. And I think that you definitely shouldn't rush it. When I was like 18, 19, 20, I didn't know at all what I wanted to do. I knew things that were fun, that I liked, but I definitely didn't know what I wanted to do with my life overall. So this is going to come along. So they're reminding you that life is a journey. It's not always a destination. And you can pick something right now that you're like, okay, fine, I'll just pick this thing. But it might end up not being what you do overall. So they're saying just enjoy the journey. As far as picking a career or picking a school or picking a line, definitely pick something that is super fun for you. That's the most important thing. Whatever is the most fun, whatever you feel the most resonance with, whatever is the most exciting for you, wherever you feel the most passion. And, it might not make sense to the people around you. It might, I have a feeling like we've talked before, you are definitely on some kind of artistic path. A lot of you guys who are coming to this channel are. It's probably why you're drawn to me and my energy. So it's difficult when you come from like a strict family. They want to see you successful. They want to see you do something stable. And so they'll want you to take a more quote unquote logical path, or they might project onto you what they think success is. But the most important thing is to define success for yourself. And I think that you have to really think about what your desires are and where your heart naturally leads you. Because when you come down here, you're programmed to take a certain path that's in alignment with your soul mission and life purpose. And how do you know what your soul mission and life purpose is? Well, your desires and your emotions are your compass to lead you to your true north, to your direction of your life mission and soul purpose. So you have to trust your feelings here. So getting in touch with your feelings is very important, because I did see this card that said, there's reassurance coming out for you to know that the answers really are inside of you. And so what's hard is you're trying to think back to childhood and think about if you had any talents or gifts or things you naturally like to do or spend your time on, or things that people complimented you on and said you were good, or what most people came to you for or knew you as back then. But since you can't remember that, can't remember your childhood, I think what's important for you is to really just think about right now, like where your heart is, and also what do you do when you're procrastinating? What do you do when no one's around and like you have free time? What are you doing? For me, I'm going to think back to 18, 19, 20. What I did when nobody was around, when no one was watching, when I had free time, or when I was procrastinating, like I had a bunch of homework, but I just decided to do something else instead. Well, I would go online shopping. I would play dress up with all the clothes in my closet. I would go on style.com. I would flip through runway shows. I loved fashion. I loved dressing up. I loved makeup. And you guys all know the story. I talk about it so many times. Now I'm a fashion stylist and I'm a makeup artist, among other things. And so everything happens for a reason, but going back in time, I really wish someone would have told me like, wow, if you spend so much time on this and you love this so much, why don't you do it for your career? Because here's the deal. Money flows where your energy and passion goes. So whatever you're the most energetic about and whatever you're the most passionate about, that's where you're going to make the most money. So your family might tell you, for instance, you should be a lawyer, or you should be a nurse or a doctor. And shout out to all of you guys that are lawyers and are nurses and are doctors. I've done readings for people in all of those professions. And some people really are even creatively drawn to those professions. And like that is where the path has led them and it's an alignment for them. But that might not be an alignment for you, you know? And that's the thing is sometimes parents will pressure you to do something just because they think, oh, there's a lot of people out there making this much money. This is how much they're usually paid. You go to school and like, this is the path for that. But you might go to school for something like that and not do well, or drop out, or be miserable, or develop health problems, God forbid, or you know, not feel fulfilled. And that can keep you from making a certain amount of money or for being stable on that path. And so what might be a stable, secure path for one person in a certain profession isn't going to be for you. And so that's why you just got to really take it back to yourself and take it back to your authenticity and realize what's fun for you is going to be what makes you the most money. And that's what I realized. I think that's why, and I'm drawing a lot of parallels to me just because I do feel like we're similar in a way, like how creative we both are. I tried taking like a secure path for years and I was struggling, and it wasn't until like I really embraced my creativity and took my path along that that I started getting secure and I started feeling happier and I started feeling more in alignment. So that's what it's about. It's about alignment with your true self. And some people feel like that's risky because for some people being in alignment means being a psychic or you know, having their own web shop or being an entrepreneur or whatever, working with children, or it could be anything really, but sometimes it's a path that some other people don't really understand, especially if being in alignment for you is being creative, because with more traditional families, that can be something that people see as too risky or like a gamble. But remember, it would be riskier for you to choose something that's not in alignment with that. And so this is saying that you are going to have to let a lot of things go to take your path. You might have to choose something that people around you don't understand. They might not say it to your face, but you might get a sense that they're going to be projecting failure onto you, or they're going to be thinking like, oh, I don't know how this is going to work out, or why don't you choose something like this, like everyone else is doing. And I think that you just got to stay to your true north and know that you will manifest success if you choose something that's along your desires. Also, they're saying, you know, this is about balance, you know, your true north. Also, I think there's a message saying that there will be miracles. Like there are already people that are lined up to come across your path to help you. And these are members of your soul family. You're never alone. The universe always sends somebody. And when you choose a certain path, or, you know, we're really talking about your career path, which is part of your mission and purpose. When you choose a certain path, you feel like, oh, I'm going to have to do this all alone, but that's not true. Like, oftentimes when you manifest something, when you pray or you wish or you have a dream or you set an intention or a goal, the universe will send the help or send the answer through another person or through a group of people. And this could be your teachers, this could be your friends, this could be people that you network with or start business with, or that people that you end up hiring or people that hire you. Like there are already people lined up to help you on this path. And so you're not going to have to do it alone. your angels are watching over you. There's also, you know, earth angels, like, you know, kindred spirits and people you've had past lives with, or, you know, your soul family, close friends, and people that will come to help you along this path. And so I think there's a lot of reassurance coming out to tell you it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to admit who you are. And with that said, let's go ahead and draw your artistic gifts, and then we'll also draw your spiritual gifts. I'm pretty sure we've done this for you before, at least the spiritual gifts, but we're just going to see what's coming out and if we can get some clarification on anything. And remember, this could be part of your purpose in your career path. I'm going to be asking about like what direction you should go right now. Like what should you study? What path you should take. Oh, wow. So for you, we're getting the performance arts. So this has to do with expressing your emotions and expressing your feelings, which is really interesting because I do see that in your family and how you were raised, you weren't necessarily encouraged to do that. And so oftentimes, as contrast, you will come into a situation or to a family or a community where you're being blocked from doing the thing you're supposed to do. And that's your contrast to kind of light a fire under your butt to make you do it. And so that's why, I feel like that's why you might feel so confused about what you're supposed to do. I think deep down inside, you know you want this and it's part of you, but you feel like you're looking around at everybody for that permission, and there's a message coming out that you give yourself permission, you know, to express yourself. And you might be using your voice or your body. So you might be taking a path where you're doing theater, or maybe you're doing acting, or perhaps you're doing music or even dance. It could include audio and video. You could be some kind of like social media influencer or something. You might be performing to a live audience. Maybe you are going to be a YouTuber. Tarot is on here. Being some kind of healer is on here. Speaking and speech is on here. There's a lot coming out about acting. Maybe you're performing an instrument, or you're singing or using music. You might also teach people in this industry as well. For instance, I have many clients actually who are actors, but on the side for like their bread and butter, they're also teaching acting class, or they're teaching theater, or they're teaching music or dance. And so, you know, there could be many paths that are in alignment with this. I don't necessarily see you doing just one thing. For instance, you guys know I have many things. I'm a casting agent. I write, I'm doing tarot, I'm a life coach. I do fashion styling, creative direction, makeup artist work, stuff like that. So you might pick one thing and it leads you to something else. I'm also seeing something about being like a stage manager. I feel like if you join theater or something like that, you would quickly move up and you would have responsibilities where you'd be like overseeing shows, or like kind of directing, or maybe helping out behind the scenes. So I see a lot of career paths through the performing arts. And so if you've never tried this before, this might be shocking to you, but you still have a lot of life left in you. It's never too late. You still have time to get into this. So I feel like joining drama at your school would be really important for you. Even if you are super shy and you're just like, just try to join it and get a part in the chorus, or just, you know, a small part, just to get used to it and to kind of break you in. And they're saying money will come through this. Maybe your fear is when you see this, it's just like, how's the money going to come? Like, what are the chances that I'll make it big as a musician? But I know people who've done it. Obviously I used to live in LA and Hollywood, but I've watched people start their careers in this. I think that if you want this, you can find a way to move forward with it. The people who make it are the people that just don't give up. It's not about getting lucky. It's about doing your true path and having the right motives. Like if you're following your mission and your purpose, you're going to get there. If you have the right motives. And I think that this is where your money is going to come from. And so maybe this is why it's really difficult for you right now. Because like you said, you kind of come from a strict family. And if you go to school for performing arts, or you start taking this seriously, they're probably going to look at you and they're not going to think you're going to be successful. And so that'll be hard. That's going to be something that you kind of rub up against. But honestly, for me, having people in my life that didn't believe I could be a fashion stylist and didn't think that I could make it in life doing something creative, it made me want to work even harder. It made me want to prove them wrong. And so, you know, and eventually you let go of that. Eventually you're just like, I don't care. I'm not gonna prove anything to anyone. I'm just gonna be me. But in the beginning, it kind of did make me want to work harder. And so I think that that's something that's gonna come into play here. So anytime somebody tells you you can't do this, or that it's too much, or how are you, you know, you're not gonna be lucky enough, or whatever, like, who do you think you are kind of thing, just use that to fuel your fire, you know, to prove them wrong, to get out there and do what you love and to do it for yourself, you know. There's money here. And I think that's, you see this list and you're like, but how am I going to make money? I don't think you need to worry about that. I think you need to have fun. I think you need to enjoy yourself. I think you need to build relationships with other people that are doing this and get mentored by the right people. And I think this is where your money's going to come from. I think this is where your success is going to come from. And so let's pull some more cards here. They're trying to make you aware that there's an opportunity here for you. There will be opportunities coming. I'm getting chills. I don't know if I can show you. Yeah, look, I'm getting chills. And for me, when I get chills, it's like a sign of resonance. It's like a sign that I'm on, like, I'm hitting the nail on the head here. Like this, I feel like we pulled the right card here. There's opportunities for you through this. Right now, though, you're not very focused on this. Maybe you're taking like a bunch of classes that are like for math and science and like whatever. I think you have an opportunity now to take as many like art, like creative, just get into drama, get into theater, get into choir, like try to do, like switch everything like these last couple years to get you as much experience as you can before you go off to college. Maybe even doing stuff outside of school. Maybe you're gonna have to like literally drop out of something. If you're in sports or something like that, you might have to drop out of that, because I know like doing theater takes a lot of out of school stuff, outside of school, and like lots of practices, and then there's rehearsals and all this stuff. I think that it's important that you switch everything to do this. Trust yourself though. If you're like, I don't want to do that, then really think about anything on this list. Maybe you're supposed to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you're going to be doing sound healing or something. Maybe you're going to be a speaker. So maybe you want to do debate or something like that. So just start thinking. There's some courses and stuff you can take where you're at that will help you kind of get your feet wet and try different things out. And maybe you try something for a year or for a semester and you're like, I don't like that. Well, drop it and try something else. Like, try as much as you can right now while it's free and while it's available to you. And they're saying this is your rebirth. It's like you're starting over. It's like everything you were trying to do. I don't think you need to focus on your grades so much. I think that you should focus more on having fun and doing as much artistically as you can, because you are on an artistic path. And so you need to get as much education as you can right now for this. And then they're also saying that this has to do with your twin flame. There is somebody significant you'll be meeting doing this. It might even be, maybe there's a soulmate or somebody you're going to be meeting in the next year or two. Maybe you switch into theater, or you switch into doing something musical at your school, and all of a sudden, like you have a significant other, like a boyfriend or something that you meet through this. And so it's like really exciting for you, and like they inspire you. There's definitely someone coming in your love life that will be inspiring you and like making you feel excited and kind of like supporting you. And you're really going to come out of your shell is what I see. Like you're coming out of your shell. And this is also a message about traveling. This is like you, and there's like a horse head here, and the horse is like a message of travel. You might be moving further away to do this. I mean, if you're doing theater, you might be moving somewhere where that's like, if you say, for instance, if you're in a small town, you might not just want to go to the community college. You might want to go somewhere where that's more supported. This is also saying that maybe you're not going to have finances. Maybe your family won't want to support you. Maybe they'll draw a line and be like, well, if you're going to do that, we're not going to pay for it. But I feel like whether you have the money from the family or not, you should still take this path. You should still trust yourself. And there are grants, and there are loans, and there are scholarships, and there are paths you can take. You can work your ass off. It will suck. I've known people who've done this, who've worked 40 hours or more to put themselves through school. And so you're going to have to work, you're going to have to hustle. The money might not be there. Your family might withdraw their support, worst case scenario, but I still think it's worth it. This is your life. Next, we're going to just see about school. I immediately got a message you should go to art school if you are going to go to school. I'm pretty sure I see you in school. Let's just pull some cards on it. Pretty sure I see you in school. Once again, though, this is your life. I really want you to trust your heart here. These are just the messages that are coming out. And if you have a strong reaction to one of my messages and you think, no, I want to do the opposite of that, then great. Like, that helped you figure out what you want. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is you having like a creative awakening, and you're expected to be more logical. You're expected to be more mathematical. Let me look at this card. Actually, I'm going to turn to it in the book. The Queen of Swords is somebody that is, yeah, very, very supposed to like take the normal path almost. Somebody who is very smart, somebody who's a good test taker, somebody who has a lot of opportunities. Maybe that's why your family wants you to take a more traditional path. But this butterfly here is saying like you're having a creative awakening. You're getting the idea that you want to do something different. You're also very independent and you're very strong-willed. And so I feel like that's also why your family comes down hard on you. You might be kind of the black sheep of the family. There's a message about you loving dancing. And that might have to do with performing, like we saw, you're a performer. I also feel like you're kind of sad because you don't have a significant other. You really want like a boyfriend. And I do see that coming. I see that coming. Like we already pulled that. I feel like you're a very fair person. You're very beautiful. And yeah, just, you're super independent. And so the message here is there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you if you take this creative path. These are all opportunities. Eight of Wands is all about opportunity, opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. I also feel like these are people, you know how like people will throw roses and flowers on the stage and like you're taking a bow? I feel like this is you. Like you're taking a bow and people are throwing roses onto the stage and it's like... It just kind of gives me that message about you performing and being on stage, and maybe dancing. Dancing could be something you're also doing. It might be part of your performance. I feel like, yeah, your family's very strict. And so it's going to be really difficult to break out of this. You're probably going to have to go somewhere further away and really just draw boundaries and not worry about like getting in trouble or them not liking you. I feel like they're going to come around. This usually upright is a message that you're like a writer, but I actually see this as you like reading a script. And so, yeah, a lot of messages about the theater coming out for you. I see you happy in your future with, I think you're going to get married quite young, as in perhaps you'll marry in your 20s. And I see you having a house. I think the person you marry does have a bit of wealth. Not like you shouldn't worry about developing your own wealth. But I think that you're not going to have to worry. I think that a way is really going to be paved for you to do this in many ways. And here's the Empress. I mean, this is such a huge message that you're super creative. And this is saying that this is a huge message. This card literally means like you're going to receive enough money to move forward. Remember, first you take action, then the money comes. And they're also saying you need to use your logic in order to give birth to these desires. So just because you want to do a creative path doesn't mean that you're not going to be logical and like think about the steps. And so you can choose something really out there and super creative, but be logical about how you go about the process. And so it is about that balance. And they're saying that you're supposed to be expressing your creativity. Abundance is your birthright. You know, use your logic and your intuition to take this path. There is going to be a lot of adversity and opposition. I do feel like this is coming from your family. You're going to have to be logical and persistent. And yeah, it's going to be kind of, how do I say it? I'm getting a vision. I'm getting like a download right now. There's just a message not to ask for permission and to just do it. And if your family is trying to force you to go to a certain school or go to a certain place, I'm like, right now, like, you're their child basically, but you're not going to be. And so you need to I mean, you'll always be, but you're not going to be that child. Like, you are an adult now. Like, you're becoming an adult. And so you're caught in between two worlds of feeling like, I need to please them, I need to make them happy because my survival depends on that. And you learn that as a child. But the older that you get, you start realizing my survival depends on my happiness, depends on me following my path, you know? So you're going to feel really undecided. You're going to ask their opinion. They're not going to be happy about it. You're going to go back and forth about, like, should I do this? Should I not? Should I compromise? And you might just have to, like I said, not accept their help, not accept what they're saying, and just, it might be awkward and you might just have to kind of go away and do your thing. And then I do see you guys repairing your bond, because the thing is I see you being very successful. And unfortunately, I've seen this with a lot of creative people. They will have to go against their family's wishes sometimes to do this. Then they become successful. Then the family's like, oh, well, awesome, you know? And sometimes they apologize, sometimes they don't. So I do see why this is kind of an intense situation, but I do think you're going to make it through. And that's why they're saying use your logic. I am seeing you going to an artistic school. It seems like it's somewhere far away. And I think you're going to be worried about how to get the money and stuff, especially if your family decides they're not going to help you with that. But it will come. That's the biggest message I'm getting, is that the means are going to come, and just pay attention to what doors are opening around you. And then this is saying to, let's see, let's get some more messages here. Yeah, and they're saying just have the willingness to expect that the doors will open when you take the path that's in alignment with your heart. I tried so many paths because I was just trying to, like, get a roof over my head and food on my table and just do, like, what I thought the people around me were expecting of me. But like I said, as soon as I started taking my artistic path, all these doors started opening. And, like, it was amazing. And so they're saying have peace and know, like, it's time for you to get clarity inside of your heart. And to know that magic can happen. Magic can happen. Life is magical. And you don't really start to see that until you really start to ask for what you want and start taking steps in faith towards it. And you'll see how magical life really can be. I want to pull some cards for you from my personal deck. I just want to see what it has to say for you in this situation. Okay, so they're saying, yeah, once again, another message about prosperity and money and, like, abundance and, like, things being provided for. It's a sign of good luck and prosperity. And it says, it's time for you to follow your intuition and look for new projects and yeah, just start realizing that your dreams will come true. You know, it's time to have faith and dream big. I have a feeling you've already dreamed about being on stage. You've already dreamed about, like, acting or reading scripts or dancing or performing. But, and you see people who are doing that and you really admire them and you really look up to them. But it's just like a fantasy in your head because I feel like you are kind of a little bit shy. And so it feels very, like, anti who you feel like you are. And you feel like you're this one way. But I feel like you've almost been programmed that way. And I feel like these next few years, you're really going to come out of your shell. I do see you doing some kind of theater, and I see like you coming alive, and I see you getting really like into your passion. And this is also a message about going out in nature. I feel like this is a good message for you to go outside and go on a walk or go on a picnic at the park. Maybe even bring a friend with you that like you like to talk to and that like really you can really trust, and maybe somebody who's going through something similar, and maybe just talk and see like what ideas come out. Because I feel like you're going to school and there's all this hustle and you're at your house, and like I feel like if you kind of get outside and remove some distractions from your situation, that your inspiration is going to come for you. And I think this is the case for a lot of people, especially me. When I go out into nature, I just start getting all these downloads of things I want to do. And like, I think this is about going somewhere you're inspired by. So maybe plan like a beach day or like a hike or something with a group of friends or with some people that you really enjoy and that inspire you. And I think that you'll start having ideas, and I think that you'll start realizing more of who you are. I think more time in nature is really needed. This is also a message about trusting in your higher self. Like you have a really strong connection to spirit, and this is saying you need to reconnect to your spiritual path. Listen to your spirit and to your heart. You know, get into harmony between this, and that's when the most doors will open for you. The directions on like the path you need to take is going to be made clear for you. Follow the light is what this message says. And look at, this is your message here. Okay, I know why I drew this card now. You are free to choose your own path and to respect the freedom of others. You'll be given confidence and strength. This is also a message about the pine tree. I don't know if there's any pine trees where you are, but if you can go hang out under a pine tree or get a pine cone and place it in your room, by your bed, or to just put your hand on the pine tree and like smell the sap and just be around the pine tree, it'll give you really, really important energy you need right now. It's going to be very healing for you. You are clairsentient, so you take in energy through people, through items, through objects, through, of course, the plants. And earth and nature is here to help heal us and support us, and the pine tree is a symbol that's coming up in your life right now that's like really strong for you. So spending time near a pine tree or just collecting pine cones and having that energy around you is going to help give you the strength to like stand up for yourself and decide what you want. And so yeah, this is saying like, once again, you're free to choose your own path, and also to respect the freedom of others, like respecting the freedom of your parents to have their own opinions and to have chosen the path that they chose, but also respecting yourself enough to realize you can choose your own path regardless of what people are saying and what they're doing. And so that might be hard. That might be hard for you, but I do see peace coming in the end, and I do see you and your family kind of resolving things, and I see them respecting you. I see you being very successful. It might just be a bit shocking at first because they might have different ideas in mind about like who you are and like what's going to happen, but you have to trust yourself. I do see you going to school for performing arts. I do see you joining theater. I do see you working on music. I think you should try as many things as you can in the performing arts. Maybe you'd end up doing something that's kind of niche or something kind of different. Maybe you make up your own act or your own thing. But yeah, you're definitely on a creative path. And let's go ahead and pull some more cards. Social media, artistic, public relations. So document what you're doing and start getting your social media going. You might be, this is where you might find your success through. And I mean, this is where a lot of us are finding our success these days. This is how I got my businesses started. If we didn't have social media, I probably would not be doing this right now, and I would not have my career as a fashion stylist. So I think that this is an amazing time for artists. Maybe in the past, like, it wasn't, because you would have to have certain opportunities, or you know, maybe you would have to get more lucky or something, but not now. Like, all of us have these ability to promote ourselves and to put ourselves out there and to go for what we want. It's incredible. This is also saying, this is what's sticking out to me from this card, is advertising. You might be hired to like commercials and stuff like that too. Like I do see you acting, and I do see money coming in that way as well. And so I hope that this resonates with you. Let's just pull you some final messages from Spirit about everything overall. Yeah, they're saying you need to actually do something right now to get started on this path. So you really need to think, like, if you can go to school and like switch into theater or like switch electives around or something, this is important for you. Or anything outside of school, or you might have to let go of, like, if you're in sports, I'm getting a message about you maybe doing a sport but not liking it. You might have to switch out of that and just start doing more artistic things. Remember to stay healthy and exercise, but you might have to devote more time to the artistic side of you. This is also validation coming out, validating you, like that you do have these gifts. Then healing is coming out. I do see a healing energy around you and your family. I think the whole experience will be very healing for you and for them. And then this is also saying your vulnerability is your strength. You're going to have to be very vulnerable. You're going to be feeling awkward, maybe getting on stage for the first time, or maybe trying something when you feel really shy. And they're saying this is going to make you feel stronger. You are going to be putting yourself out there on social media, and being very artistic, and you're being a performance artist. It's like what you're doing is you're expressing your emotions, you're expressing feelings, you're relating that to people. So it's so vulnerable, but this is your strength. And this is also probably why you're very sensitive, and kind of tying it back to the beginning of this conversation, maybe why you were susceptible sometimes to psychic attack and stuff like that. So all in all, just remember to protect your energy. Remember, you are very sensitive. You do have beautiful artistic gifts. And I think you're going to do absolutely amazing. Remember to just have fun. And a lot of times in life, just following what's fun to you, following the path of your inner child, is going to take you on your true path. You can trust yourself enough to be logical and to make the right choices. Let everything else just kind of flow into place. I hope that this reading resonates with you and anyone else who's watched it. If you're interested and you have a question, just drop a question below and I can add it to my list of pick a card readings to do. If you would like to purchase your own personal reading, head over to my website, promiseharmony.com/services. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.